You're fired. 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 You're fired.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and it's finally happened. The woke backlash, the disaster that's been Disney cinema for the past 2 or 3 years finally has some heads rolling. This one all the way up at the top, the head of cinematography, the head of film, the guy in charge of all these woke trash remakes that nobody asked for and nobody wants, is out, gone, fired, unceremoniously shown the door from Disney after losing them billions of dollars over the past year or two, on top of the fact that they've completely alienated half of their viewing audience with their nonsense, garbage woke remakes that, again, nobody asked for. Make sure you leave a like on this video to say rest in pepperonis to this individual. By the way, the woke, nonsense coming out of Disney isn't going to go away right now. Of course, Disney film president Shawn Bailey is leaving effective immediately. Bailey was in charge of Disney remakes, such bangers as Halle Bailey's disastrous Little Mermaid movie and the upcoming mega disaster that is the Snow Brown remake. Bailey was responsible for recent bombs like Little Mermaid 2023 and Peter and Wendy. Yeah, did you remember Peter and Wendy, where the Lost Boys were actually girls now? Remember that? Yeah. Disney lost a whopping $1 billion at the box office over the last year due to multiple flops. If you look at their stock, for example, Disney has lost half of its value since going woke in 2021. It literally never pays. This is exactly what I'm talking about when saying we do have power. People do make change. When you say, I'm not going to go to the movie theater and pay to see this. I'm not going to go and pay for Disney Plus. Sure, some weirdo, some Palpatine looking weirdo might pump $100 million into the company in the stock market to temporarily increase the stock price, but it doesn't change that regular everyday people like you, like me, are just not buying the product. I don't care. And to be honest, Disney has gone from something that used to be a seal of approval and is now seen as a warning label by many parents. And it's just one of many companies who are no longer on the acceptable in your household list. By the way, that's why I always recommend to people Veebs. It's a app that allows you just to scan any item in your house or the grocery store, or you can input the name of a company and see where they rate politically and see if they value you, see if they hate you. And I have a promo code. It's 4444. So when you install the Veebs app, it's only $1 a month anyway, but you get a free trial. And when you install the app, it'll ask you to confirm a code. They'll text you, say, confirm this code. Just use code 4444, and you'll get a free trial. This thing is a UPC scanner, value-based scores, preferred brands that you can filter. You can build shopping lists, brand substitutions. This is what I'm always talking about. Little decisions, little moves here and there have huge sweeping effects. And I started using Veebs a long time ago when it first came out, and it's great. Sometimes I scan something and really nothing comes up and everything's fine. Sometimes I scan something and I see, oh, they actually hate me, and there's an alternative right next to it on the shelf, so I just buy that. You see, Elon Musk saying the tide is turned against the woke, boycott wokeness. Again, Disney has lost half of its value since going woke. This is only the beginning. Top Disney movie boss steps down in shakeup. Disney has shaken up the leadership of its live action film studio as boss Bob Iger looks to turn around the entertainment giant's fortunes. Now, again, to just put things in perspective, this came out last fall. The 4 flops of this is just last year, so it's only February, and I'm trying to think, Has there been any massive flops this year for Disney? I'm not sure anything came out yet. I know we have Deadpool coming up, which I don't suspect will be a flop. And we know that they pushed Snow White out of this year. I bet you they'll probably mothball it. They spent $300+ million on it, so it has almost no chance of making money. But this is just 4 movies in 2023 that lost Disney $1 billion. Of course, we all know the woke remake of Indiana Jones, where Indiana Jones is a toxic man, constantly get outwitted by the mediocre-looking Kathleen Kennedy self-insert. That movie lost $300 million. $300 million.